Okay, so the question is, how can I load my files with every project? Very simple. If you drag your resource into the global media, and there you have different places you can actually put it. My images would be a good place to put images and so forth. It means that every time you start a new project and you click on global media, you go down to my images. Well, actually, if you're in the top folder there, all files would show up, both video as well as audio. But if you have a lot of these that you're loading up every time, then perhaps you want to segregate them by images, videos from audio and so forth. But anyway, these are just the default folders. Another way that's better than just storing your media over here in the global media folder and dragging it down to the timeline every time you make a project is to just make some small projects for your intros and outros and then store them as templates. And here's an example, like you go into Mine and you go down to Customs. And once you have something on the project line and you click this, then you will, whatever is on the timeline, however it's lined up, is going to be created as a template that you can use anytime. Okay, as you can see, I have a couple here. So I'll put one of my templates down here, and let's just let it play and see what it does here. I just played for you had several different things in it. It had a ball that rolled with a rolling sound, transformed into a wine glass, and when it got to the top, it got a little twinkle right up there, and there was a little twinkle sound. And now you don't see all of that here that you would normally do. So now if I was to go and add more videos and whatever onto the timeline here, I don't want this thing to get messed up. There's all kinds of timing there. I want to make sure that I have that exact timing every single time I play it. And I want to be able to go in here to my templates and just click on it, click the plus sign, drop it down on the timeline. So why don't we see it? Well, that's the second part of it, and that's what's called compound clips. When we put two or more things onto a timeline, we can combine them all into one track. And how do we get to see this track? Well, we give these templates names like timeline intro or whatever it is that you want to introduce it. Okay, once you click on the template and bring it out, then you can see, okay, I got several different templates that I've created. Okay, once you bring them out, they become part of your media folder. Now it's right here. But how do I examine this and how do I change it? Or how do I go in and inspect it or whatever? You'll notice right here that when we have a compound clip, that this changes right here. We now have the main timeline, which is what we're on. But if we want to just edit what's in that little clip of ours, that compound clip, we can just click on it like this. We'll get this reminder message every time. But here now we can see, here are all the elements. Here is the video that plays when we scroll it. Here is the rolling ball sound while the ball is rolling. And now we got the water bubbling sound when the wine glass is being created. And then finally, we've got that little ding right there. These are all freebie things that you can get into your audio, whatever. And what is this thing up here? Well, that's the little twinkle, right? Okay, again, there's just a freebie thing. Okay, so that's the little twinkle that we see right there, right now. They're all combined into one clip. And when we go back to the main timeline, it condenses down into one thing. There's no way I can mess up the timing on this. All right, I'm going to pause here for a second. I'm going to set up for how to create a compound clip. Okay, I've now copied out my compound clip. It actually still shows up here, but it's not visible on the timeline. I just copied each of the elements and pasted them right on the timeline. And of course, I spent hours setting up this just exact little thing. Not really, but anyway, the point is that there's nothing else on your timeline. There's only what you're going to put into this template. That's the only thing you want in there, because when you create a template, it takes whatever is on your timeline at that point in time. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab all of these. They're all selected. Then we're going to right click on it, and then we're going to go up here, create compound clip. Wow, that's difficult, huh? We give it a name, and I'm just going to say, what test for you guys. Okay, so that's going to be the name of the template. And now we should have our template right here. I just created. It's a compound clip, and it's in our basic media folder. And now what I want to do is I want to take that and I want to add it to my templates. So that's this one. And now what we'll see is we actually have the original timeline intro that I showed you, and just this new compound clip that we just created. Compound clip, again, it just condenses everything into one track. Okay, now the last step is to add it to the templates. We go to the templates, we go to mine, we go down to custom, and we click the save as custom. Okay, now we have an untitled one, so I think we're going to right click on it and we're going to rename it Just For You Guys. Okay, to wrap all this up, I've started a new project here. I moved what the little clips that I made into my image or folder. I didn't drop it into the actual image one. And also, however, I want to start my video with the little thing that I created. So I'm going to add the Just For You Guys to right here. Now, of course, I don't want to have this timeline tips and tricks or part one. So I'm going to go ahead and edit that. In order to edit that, I'm going to go in here and test for you guys. And I'm going to go in here on the first part. And let's take out the tips and tricks. We could well, you know what? We could almost call the timeline tips and tricks. Tips and tricks. And then how to make a compound clip. How to make a compound clip. Compound clip and template. Compound clip and template. Okay, so this one is just for you guys. Okay, I'm going to post it on YouTube for you. Okay, so now I've modified my little intro here, and I'm just going to go back to the main timeline. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to save you guys a little grief, but in my folder here are all of the other previous videos that I just used. I'm going to go ahead and put them on the timeline, and I'm going to go ahead and edit them into a nice smooth video that you can watch.